Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of the Untold Gems podcast. I'm here with my co-hosts Sasha and Charl, and today we're going to be talking about a few different things. We just wanted to introduce ourselves quickly. My name is Chris. I run an Amazon business. I resell a bunch of products all over Canada, and I also help people build their online business as well. Sasha?
Yeah, so my name's Sasha. I sell stuff on Amazon. I help others do the same. Also recently started YouTube. So I'm an aspiring YouTuber as well, and that's pretty much what I do. How about you, Charl?
Yeah, so my name is Charles. You may know me as the was an investor. I help people achieve financial freedom. I'm actually a real estate investor and I'm still a university student.
Cool, perfect. So yeah, the reason we wanted to start this podcast is because I guess we have, whenever we meet up, like us three, we have conversations that we feel aren't had between like other people, or like these are conversations that we have together mainly.
But
Yeah,
we're just a
so
group of millennials who have in-depth conversation, but we feel like there's a lack of those conversations. So
Yeah, whenever I'm with
we
other people,
want to bring you guys to our conversations essentially.
it's so rare that like I sit down with people and we speak about these things. So yeah, it's crazy. Like whenever I speak with you guys, I feel like I'm actually speaking about something that's interesting, helpful, educational. Like I actually feel like I'm being
yeah,
productive,
like valuable,
Yeah.
yeah.
not
Yeah.
just gossip and like stupid shit. So yeah.
So last time we were sitting in a cafe and basically we were speaking for hours and hours, and at the end of it we were like, shit, we should have filmed this
Yeah, should have.
because yeah, exactly. So then we're actually filming now, and we want to try it out, see how it goes. So yeah, what did you guys want to talk about today? What was the first thing on the list?
Well, I'm trying to hear about this trip. I'm trying to hear about this trip.
Oh, you're right.
Yo, I've been
Okay.
ready. Guys, I was on vacation with you guys. I'm telling you that right now.
Real. Yeah, so we just came back from Europe, me and Chris, and it was amazing. I literally love Spain. Like Spain was my favorite place, I think. Yeah, it was probably the best trip I've ever taken for sure. Like if you haven't been to Europe, you have to go to Europe eventually.
Yeah, so it was like based around a bunch of football games, like European football, and we wanted to watch like as many as possible because like I'm a huge fan. Sasha's become a big fan as well. So we went to a bunch of different places. We started in Barcelona, and then we went to what was after Barcelona?
So we went to Barcelona and then randomly we were like we were supposed to stay another 2 days in Barcelona, but then Chris was like, he was insisting. He was like, no, we're going somewhere else. And I was like, we need to just sleep. Like we need to take 2 days to sleep in Barcelona. And he's like, no, let's catch a flight somewhere else. And like he was being so spontaneous. So then we ended up going to Rome because it was like it was not too expensive. Like once you're in Europe, it's actually not that expensive to go to other countries. So we ended up going to Rome and it was amazing. Like Rome was so beautiful. Then we went to the UK, so we went to London and Manchester. Then we went to where did we go next? I forget. Oh,
We went
Paris.
yeah, we did.
no, Amsterdam was first. So we went to Amsterdam for like I think a day and a half or 2 days. And then after that it was Paris, right?
No, we went back to Spain because we ended like it was so like our trip made no sense because like a typical trip should have been like you're supposed to start from like a certain country and then go over like through the map properly. But because we were like basing our trip on the football matches, like we were just going back
Oh yeah.
through Europe. So we ended up going to Spain, the first destination, and then we went back to Spain, but to Madrid. And then we ended our trip in Paris.
The football games are like the craziest thing I've ever seen live. Like it's like a concert, but it's like well, basically it's what I love. So
I've been to my fair share of concerts and like it felt like a concert, but just like way more intense. Like the type of people that are there, it's not just like a bunch of young teenagers or like young adults. It's like old grandparents and like with their
it's
kids.
literally
Yeah, so
everyone.
like a
Like
religion.
everyone's there.
And
Yeah,
I just want to
basically.
remind the audience these are people in their mid 20s, so anything is possible. This is a spontaneous trip, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real, for real. Like, yeah, but without obviously without our businesses, like this would not have been possible at all. Like I had never traveled to Europe before. Sasha had never been to Europe before. Have you ever been? Tra?
Bucket list. I'm trying to
Yeah,
go
bro. It's like
Amalfi Coast,
for
Venice.
real.
Ah, yo.
Yo,
I'm ready for somebody to sing me a song eating a
song,
pizza
bro. And like the money you
on
put
the
on a
canal.
trip, you'll never regret like no matter how much you spend on a trip, like it's not something you'll regret because it stays with you forever.
100%.
So that's
You
all I'm
know,
trying to spend my money on is either like business stuff or experiences like that,
yeah,
like
because at the
trips.
end of the day, especially for a trip, I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Every time I come back from a destination, it's just like, okay, Wash, you take everything, you become more grateful. So you're like, okay, I have to go harder. And
Yeah.
that's every time I go on a trip, I'm like, okay, well, this is life changing experiences. What can I do so I could go back to those same destinations or go
100%.
to further destinations also?
Countries. Yeah. Like it makes
Yeah.
you like there's so many other countries in the world that we've never been able to experience. And like we won't be able to experience all of them unless we're able to have our own time and our own money and everything. So yeah.
And as soon as we came back, like we came back, it was snowing here, and we were like, "Fuck this, we need to leave again, bro." So like, we need to work our asses off and
Yeah.
bounce again. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
You
need to,
see,
yeah.
Yeah, like right
I
before we
got so motivated. I'm leaving December. I'm like, I'm booking a trip. I'm going to the Caribbean. So I'm
go
telling you guys, it's the time.
this winter, like we had, because like the winter that just passed, like I kept being like, okay, we need to go to Miami, we need to go somewhere hot, because I was like, we were dying this winter. It was like it was a hard winter. I don't know why, but like everyone was just like dying this winter because of the cold. Like it was, and not just like physically, like mentally too. Like everyone was
Yeah.
this winter, and I kept being like, okay, I was like, okay, we need to go somewhere, but next winter we're going somewhere for sure. Like it's a non-negotiable. Like I can't stay in this country all winter. I'll go crazy.
Yeah, like we already have plans to leave in like November, December, um, to somewhere warm. So yeah, that should
Sheesh.
happen hopefully. Yeah, so then when we came back, I quit my job on Monday. I think I've posted a lot about quitting my job, but it's like for me, like that's a big accomplishment because I've been working like for the past 2 years to be able to do this.
And
And
it was something that you were planning, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't like I like from 2 years ago, I had like if anyone like from my close friends, I had told them like back in 2020, I told them by May 2022, I'm gone, bro. Like
Yeah. And for the
100%.
people that don't know, can you explain to them how you quit your job and like what was the process to doing so?
Yeah, for sure. So I was working a job that I hated, and then I fell onto selling on Amazon. I had tried selling on Amazon before with one of my friends, like one of our friends, like you guys
Yeah.
know him for sure. And yeah, we failed that. And then thankfully, like I didn't blame Amazon. I just like knew that the strategy we chose wasn't good. It wasn't even about the product. It was just like with selling your own product, you have to be good at marketing. You have to be good at selling yourself and like selling your product. And we were both like trash at that. So it was never going to work. And I knew that once we failed, like I knew that Amazon wasn't the issue. It was just the method that we chose. So then the second time I fell upon this other method of selling, which is just called online arbitrage, where you resell like products um, that are like already branded, like popular products that people are already buying. So you're not selling your own product, you're just buying them low from stores like Walmart, Toys R Us, Canadian Tire, and you're selling them for more on Amazon. And me and Sasha got like into it around the same time. We started watching a bunch of YouTube videos about it and learning like everything that you needed to know to start. And then once we felt like comfortable enough with the information that we had learned, we started like investing into our first couple of products. We sent them in, they sold, like my product sold, her product sold. And from there, we knew that it worked, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. From the first day, like our products became active. We both made our like a first sale on the first day. And me, I remember it was the whole week, like that first week of my products being active, I sold at least one unit every single day. And that's when I was like, holy shit, this is real. Like it's a real way to actually make money, you know? It was like it was crazy. It was crazy to see.
And then like after that we showed like well I was so excited about it because like that was all I was doing was like forget about work. Like I put zero energy into my work. Like all I was focused on was the Amazon stuff. And I kept like telling my friends like, yo, start this now, start this with me, like do it with me, because Sasha was doing it and like it worked for both of us. We got sales. So like I was telling my friends like, do it, I'll show you how. Like I'll teach you. So I was teaching some of my friends how to do it. And like some people just maybe it's not the right time for them or whatever it may be, they don't start. But I wish like I had more people, like close friends that did this with me and took this journey with me, because it gets kind of lonely sometimes. I'm so thankful
Yeah.
that like Sasha was with me, and then you, Charl, you like
Shout out.
that. Then you started to do it. Like we showed you how to do it, and like you started to do it. And tell us about like your journey with that.
Yeah. So I just want to tell people that it doesn't take $10,000, $5 million. It takes legit maybe anywhere from 500 to $1,000. And the beauty about it is that you could do it on your own time. And as for Chris and Sasha, I saw that with accelerated growth, if you reinvest or if you add new capital inside, you could grow up at a quick rate. So for me, especially being a part or being a university student, it's hard to maintain everything. But it was, and it still is, a beautiful journey because, as Sasha said, being able to sell anything at every single day, whether you're on the toilet bowl, whether you're at home having supper,
Yeah.
it is incredible feeling. So for me, the beauty about it is that you have your active income, you have to go to work, you have to, if you have real estate, you have to still do renovations, etc. Amazon's the only thing that I have so far in my life where it's like, okay, you do something legit one time and you're rewarded for it throughout the month.
Yeah,
So for me, it's legit. If anybody doesn't know where to start or just needs an extra passive income, and when I say passive income, I don't mean free money. So obviously, there's a bit of work that has to go into it. There's learning that needs to be done, but it's something that anybody could do regardless of your situation.
yeah, I remember my first sale. Like it was my best friend's birthday, like the day that I made my first sale, and like I was at her birthday party, and I remember being so shy to tell everyone because I was like, okay, this is the first time I'm doing this. But it was like I was at a birthday party, like with my best friend. It was her birthday. My birthday was 2 days before that, and I had made my first sale. You know, it was crazy. Like to not even be like I was not even home. You know, and obviously like you said, you have to put in work in the beginning and everything. But it was crazy to be like in that environment and be
Yeah,
like, I just sold something on Amazon. Like the first day, it was crazy.
Like you're saying about like it's sort of, it's not really passive, but it can be.
yeah,
So for me, like I'm not too proud of this, but like I haven't touched anything regarding my business in like when we were in like for the past almost month. Okay. But when I started, I was telling myself like I want to average like 1K a day in sales, like on average every single day. And like, so this month wasn't my highest, but I've been able to average 1K sales a day without even touching anything, which is like crazy to me. Like that was my goal in the beginning when I started. And the fact that I'm able to now do that without even touching anything for like a month. Obviously, if you don't work any, like if I stop for
yeah,
longer, it's gonna slow down. But just the fact that like if I can not do anything and still get that income for 1 month, then that's just crazy to me. So
yeah. Because
yeah.
especially, yeah. Go ahead, Sasha.
Just right before we left for Europe, like I restocked all my products. I was like working super hard before we left. And me too, like basically this month was like, I mean, it's not my best month, but it's still a really good month for me. And like I as well have not touched anything like in terms of Amazon for like at least a month, you know. And it's crazy that like it can still like while we were on our trip, we were still making sales every single day. So it's not 100% passive, but it's like you can work really hard on it and then
Yeah,
take a month off and still be making money.
yeah. Because I'll tell people this: if anybody needs an extra $500, an extra $1,000, an extra $3,000, this is somewhere that there's low capital involved, and it's something that's like Chris and Sasha said, that if you put a bit of work, it just compounds, and it's crazy that once you find a good product, it's over, and
That's
that's,
it,
I think
man.
that's really the game is legit. Your first, what now I'm at month 9, I see my winning products, and it's automatic. I think the winning recipe is just finding your winning products, and afterwards, once that's done, the work is
Yeah, it's much easier. You
compounded over.
restocking those products,
Yeah.
new products all the time.
Is
Yeah,
your mom
but
still doing it, Charles?
yeah, mom's still doing it. We doing it.
Dude,
Let's
It's
go.
to the point where almost we took the course this time last year, and there's Amazon has different policies in place like that. But for me, one could say that I made a sale every single day. My mom's made a sale every single day, and a year, almost 9 months later,
that's blessed.
we double our investment. Actually, 2 months into it, I double my investment. For somebody who wants to start today, where could they get that information, or where could they look to get more information about this?
Bro, like like it's everywhere, first of all, and then obviously us on Twitter, me and Sasha post a lot about, especially Sasha is recently, like she's been
Having
posting so much content.
like I'm trying to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
daily threads of like Amazon content, and like lately I've been realizing like what people actually want to see as value, and like I've been trying to really like portray that in my tweets and everything. So I'm just trying to provide as much value as possible in like in terms of Amazon. So check out my Twitter. But yeah, you can go on YouTube. There's blogs, there's our content. Like there's so many people who are putting out content in terms of Amazon if you guys want to learn. And yeah.
yeah. So hold on, I just gotta talk some shit a bit because this man right here is about to hit $1 million on Amazon soon.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
$1
Who are you talking about?
No, I gotta talk that shit. And
Gee.
people on the internet, especially on IG, on Twitter, gotta say the gurus and everything like that. Chris has never proclaimed himself to be a guru. He's just somebody who shows you his results throughout his work. And for me, as somebody who took his course and somebody who tries to put everybody on Amazon, even though I do real estate, I do different things, it would be a disservice if you didn't look into it, if you don't have a lot of capital to invest in.
I appreciate you, broski. Like, yeah,
Always,
and you
man.
can, yeah, you can learn. Like, however, I don't want this podcast to turn into like Amazon like sales or whatever, but like that's basically all we talk about when we. That's
It's
mainly what we talk about.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the economy is gonna collapse in what? T minus 18 months. Okay,
For
so you have
real.
less than 2 years to get your shit together. So if I'm close to having a bunch of assets and passive income, and I'm worried,
Yeah.
what's stopping somebody who doesn't have anything, living paycheck to paycheck, to be like, okay, well, shit,
yeah.
we're gonna have a food shortage in two,
Oh,
3 years.
yeah, for sure.
So at the end of the day, it's all things that we need to be talking about and educating people to see exactly what are their options. Because if I told my grandma how much I made online in a week, in a month, she wouldn't believe me, because the things that we're able to do right now weren't possible back then. And
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it would be a disservice if I didn't take advantage of all those opportunities we have online.
lucky.
Bro, not even back then. Like me and Sasha, when we were in Europe, we walked into like a dépanneur, like a corner store, and like I was in the shop and I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like Amazon is so crazy when you think about it. Like I have a corner store, like a dépanneur, but like I don't see the products. I don't have to have a physical space for it. Like the work that goes into having an actual dépanneur is just
Yeah,
was so crazy to me because I was like, oh my God, I know what I did. Imagine what this person like did to have this store. Like it seems like so much harder, and Amazon's like compared to that seems simple because like you don't see the products, everything is
yeah,
can be taken care of for you.
Yeah,
Um,
oh, it's so hard and like people complain and stuff, but it's like if you really think about owning a business and like what like literally the difference like you just said of owning like a corner store, like a convenience store versus Amazon, it makes Amazon seem so easy.
yeah, bro. Like I
yeah,
was like, this person must love their shop if like
I stocked his whole store, they have to dust it, like they have to clean it. Like,
yeah,
yeah. And it's that bro, like for me, that's crazy. Like I look up to that. Like that's crazy to have a corner shop and like that's basically what selling on Amazon is. It's
yeah.
like you have a little store that's inside of the biggest mall, like basically on the planet. Um,
100%.
yeah, and you're accessible 24/7. So like I don't know, people who aren't taking advantage of this opportunity. I
And
think a lot of people just aren't like thinking about these
it's
things.
just up
Like,
here.
bro, it's literally all in your head. Like it's all what you think about, what you spend your time on.
still
Yeah, man.
they
I
think
think people don't have the evidence to see that it's possible. I
they
think
stick
that's what's
Yeah.
blocking a lot of people, because it's like,
with
I
themselves.
remember when I bought my first property 2 years ago. I was 23 at the time. People are like, oh, you gotta get into real estate.
Jeez.
Oh, you're young for real estate. Why?
No, you're
What happened?
killing it, bro.
Interest rates went up, prices doubled.
Literally.
So for me, I bought property. Let's say, for example, for simple math, at $100,000. Without making any renovation, it went up to $300,000.
Yeah.
I'm renovating my property right now. I'm probably gonna make an extra $150,000 for a
Easy.
decision that I made 2 years ago that people are like, it's risky.
Yeah.
Easy.
And people are gonna have trouble buying their property. Interest rates are gonna keep rising. So when people tell you it's risky, don't do it, this and that, listen, but take it with a grain of salt. Because sometimes It's the fear that they have that they're putting on you, and that puts limitation on what you're able to do long term.
100%.
Bro, I have a new rule. Like if someone is giving you advice and they haven't done what you're trying to do, like don't listen.
Amen.
Like it's as simple as that, bro. Like anyone who's never done what you're trying to do or what you want to do in the future, like I don't know, find advice from someone who's actually done
Yeah,
it. Like that's for
mentorship.
sure.
No,
That's
like,
the
Yeah.
best thing I could tell you. Mentorship.
they
And
don't.
it
You
doesn't
got
even
pay for
have to
it.
be no, but it doesn't have to be paid for. Like for me, I like my mentors are free on YouTube, like Gary V, another Canadian called Stephen James, and like a few other people, and like that's free information. And like those are the people who I see they've done something that I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's who I listen to. I don't listen to like anyone else who's telling me like don't do this or yeah.
So especially for me, one of my goals in 2022 was to invest more in personal development, buying more books, going to
Sure.
seminars,
Me too.
going to conferences. So for me, I have a goal this year of reading minimum 12 books, going to 6 conferences. I'm trying to go to the Grant Cardone 10X conference next year.
That's
So
lit,
when I
bro.
tell people you have to pay for education, sometimes it's nice that you read books for free, the blogs online, etc. But the time you waste reading that information is time that you could just pay someone to tell you what to do, and you
Yeah,
could apply yourself faster.
you get the content like easier and
Yeah.
And you've basically been paying your whole life for education, but like it's
Speak on it.
like bro, it's like debatably a bit useless education. Like a lot of it is a bit useless, and you can like everything is free now. Like I said, like everything is on YouTube. You can learn how to do
Yeah.
like obviously I wouldn't do a surgery with someone who learned on YouTube, but you can literally learn how to do a surgery on YouTube. And like that's crazy to me. Like it's free, it's out there.
so true. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, literally any topic you want, literally anything. You searched up on YouTube and you'll find videos for it. Like it's actually crazy. And like people don't realize that this is the world we're living in now, you know? It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone is missing out on all of these opportunities.
And I feel behind. I'm like, damn, bro, there's this kid
Yeah,
18 years old doing this.
100%. 100%.
People are 14 years old selling Legos on eBay, making $100,000 online. So people don't have the information because they're not exposed to it. I understand that, but everything's online and there's so much possibilities and it's only going to advance. So if I have advice to give to people is figure out what you're good at, see if you can make money with that online. If not, look for something generic. I don't care if it's selling on eBay, selling on Poshmark,
Yeah.
flipping shoes. Find something that you're able to
Flipping, the
do.
flip game is crazy. Like
Yeah,
it's the most realistic way to make an extra buck. So like
yeah,
If you don't know what you're gonna do, if you have no passions, if you're like not sure what you're good at, reselling, no matter if it's sneaker reselling, any type of reselling is literally the best thing to do.
yeah,
You don't need to think it's not a creative type of business. You don't need
yeah.
anything. You don't need to create your own products. It's just like you're selling stuff that people already want. It's like it's a no-brainer. So
100%. Because when I was in college, man, I'm telling you guys, Yeezys funded my lifestyle. But I used to spend money at the
uh
club. I used to spend money on ladies, this and that restaurant. And unfortunately, all that money came from reselling Yeezys. So
yeah,
if you're gonna make money, make sure you reinvest a portion of it into long-term assets, but figure out what you need that money for and look to see easy ways to make money that are legal, of course.
that's lit, bro. And like you don't even have to be someone who's like an entrepreneur or reseller or whatever. Like you were a reseller. I was never a reseller. Like I lived 24 years of my life without making a single like dollar outside of like any job or something.
Yeah,
And then like I just started this and it's like you don't need to be I think some people I've heard them say like you need to be born an entrepreneur or whatever. You can shape that. Like you can create that personality for yourself. It's not like I'm not born with it, it's over. Because like for 24 years of my life, I wasn't anything like this. Like it wasn't like anywhere near someone who thought they could be an entrepreneur or whatever. Like and you said self-improvement, Charl, like the world of self-improvement is so crazy to me. Like it's so fascinating how I lived like 24 years of my life without even knowing about that whole world.
mm-hmm.
And you can literally change who you are as a person if you focus just on yourself and stop focusing on like everyone else. Like you
100%.
can change who you are. Like I changed who I was from 2-3 years ago by just watching YouTube videos and like learning about mental aspects before even
Yeah.
looking at anything business, just how to shape your mindset. Like mindset is the most important.
You know, when I have this conversation with my girlfriend, I'm like, anybody who was locked inside the house for what 2 months, 3 months during the pandemic, and then look to see how they can improve themselves mentally, just missed out on the opportunity to change
Yeah.
their life
Yeah.
10x. And that's the unfortunate part. Some people came in the pandemic worse off. Some people came in the pandemic and are still the same person. But I admire the people that looked at their lives and said, "Where can I make changes?" and actually are applying and looking to see where they can improve upon.
Yeah, the world had stopped, bro. Like everything stopped. And like you had either the choice of like continuing with your bad habits or like trying to find new habits. And that's all it came down to.
Yeah, sometimes I'm so good. Like it sounds horrible, but sometimes I'm like grateful for the pandemic because that's like
Yep.
that's the
Oh, for sure.
first moment of my life where like I finally started changing things. And like as Chris said, like he was saying, oh, like he was never that type of person. For me, it's the opposite. Like I was always like, I'm gonna have my own business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I knew this from like a very young age. I was like, I am not going to have a job. I always wanted to have my own business, but I never knew how to like be a person that could own a business. Like I was always like, oh, if this is too hard, I'm just like, oh, it's not working for me because, oh, I'm poor, or like, oh, I can't afford it. Or like once things got too hard, I was like so quick to just like quit things. And like the first thing I was able to keep doing was Amazon. And like, it's not even because of Amazon. I don't think it's just because I became somebody that's more solution driven. And like, I think it's because of COVID. Like honestly, ever since
Yeah.
COVID, like it kind of opened my eyes to like what was happening in the world and like people losing their jobs and just like so many crazy things happening. Even me, like everyone was so afraid to lose their jobs and there was like so much panic that I was like, I need to get control of my life and like change something. And so like I'm partially grateful for the pandemic in some ways.
Yeah, because I agree with you guys. Because for me, my whole life, I always told people was like, I was always a hustler, but now it's making the transition from being a hustler to being a businessman, and
Yeah.
that's the journey that I'm on
Yeah.
right now. Because like Sasha, I always knew I want to own things. I always knew I want to be looking at something I built from the ground up, but I never knew what that was. I thought I was gonna be in the NBA. I thought I was gonna have my own sneakers. I don't know what that was, but now looking at my life, I have a clear vision of where I want to go, and now it's just making that transition and putting the building blocks in place to achieve those things. So I tell people have a vision long term, but look to see what you could do in your every single day, every week, every 6 months that brings you closer to that goal. And if you're doing that, then that's all you could do in life.
That's it, bro. And just like life is long. Like I hate when people say, "What if you die tomorrow?" Like, what kind of stupid shit? What if you don't die tomorrow? What if you don't die tomorrow? And what if you keep living? Like, bro, you have a long time to change your life. No matter how old you are, like you still have time. So, and you
Times.
can change your life in like
That's why I'm gonna disagree.
what?
Cause I agree with you until somebody told me this. Cause somebody told me as a man, well, the average man died at 74. So the
Yeah.
moment you reach 35, you lived half your life. So for me, it's like I need to do as many things as possible to. It won't be exactly at 35, but if I'm at 35, I could look to say, okay, well, this is gonna lead me to a positive transition at the next phase of my life. I did my job. If at 35, I don't have anything to my name, I'm still living the same life I lived at 25, I fucked up. And it's hard for people to make a change in 2 years. I know people have, but it's not everybody who does it. And I know people are 30 and now they're figuring out, okay, what I'm gonna do in my life. If you're under 30, take the time to feel out a lot of things, try different things, and look to see what you're good at.
You
Because
have
like Chris said, life is long, but life is long when you fuck up your things also.
that's true.
I don't know. Like, yeah, it's obviously not ideal to not have your shit together by 35 as a man. I just don't think it's the end of the world. Like, you can fuck up until you're 35 and then you can still turn your life around in like 2-3 years. Like, that's all it takes. It's going to get harder because you'd have more responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like, maybe your parents won't be around, you'd have kids, whatever it may be. So, it would be harder, but it's definitely doable. Like, it's literally all in your head.
Like
Like
you're
it's
not
all in, everything's in your head.
doomed if like you fucked up your whole life, you know. I mean, like you can still change it around. I mean, obviously the earlier you start doing good things for your life, the better. But like I was listening to Gary Vee's book and he was like, I'm 46 and I feel young, and he's like, I still have so much time
Yeah,
for things. And I was like it made me really think like so many people are so like oh my god, like in a rush to be like holy shit, I'm like turning 25 and I'm turning 25 in like 2 months, and I'm like oh my fucking god. But like sometimes I have to like remind myself that it's like I'm still young and like we still have so much time to do so much in this life. And that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go party and turn up and like be like YOLO and like spend all my money and stuff, but it just makes me realize that like I have so much time to do like long-term projects. And like because sometimes you'll be like, oh, I can't spend 10 years on YouTube because like I'm going to be 35 by then, but it's like we have so much time in this life that like 10 years, spending 10 years of my life on YouTube is not even that long, you know. So
Yeah.
like it actually makes me more aware of like or like more willing to do long-term projects when I think of it that way. Because if Gary Vee is saying that he's 46 and his life just started and like he's just doing all of these new things, it's like it goes to show that like you never stop improving, you never stop doing new projects.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I
bro.
just
60 you can keep doing things, you know. So yeah.
yeah, I just think that we have like two phases of life. I think that we have like the building blocks, and then you have the enjoying life. And I think that also society makes it unforgiving if you don't reach a certain goal by a certain age.
Oh,
Yeah,
So I think it's like, especially
there's so
like
many.
if you look at the movies like the 4 Year Old Virgin, or you're a loser if you still live with your mom at 35,
yeah,
etc. You know, so it's I'll speak as a man. It's like, well, especially when I was younger, I was like, oh, guys, by 27, I'm gonna have a kid, I'm gonna have a wife, I'm gonna have a house, I'm gonna have a nice Benz, I'm gonna go on vacation twice a year, once a year. And it's like you look at, I'm turning 26 in a couple of months, and now it's like I feel like I'm in this weird stage where I'm like, oh, I'm so young, I'm under 30. But then there's the other side of me that's like, oh shit, I'm almost 30. You know,
Yeah,
so it's finding that sweet balance of always improving, but always looking at life as a continuous journey also.
I agree. It's kind of like you have to think both ways because it's like in a way it's long, but in a way it's short, you know. So
Yeah.
bro.
right.
As long as you're trying to improve yourself, I don't think it matters the age, like
That's
30 or
right.
Yeah,
but if you're
100%.
like it, that if like you're worried about like trying to become better, that's all that matters, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Exactly.
100%. 100%. So you see, people, if you deposit a dollar every single day for self improvement, that's just gonna pile up for the rest of your life. So what I don't like is people who talk say, ah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and you look at them 6 months later, they're still at the same place. So
Yeah.
like Chris said, if you go and start your day to say I will be better than I was yesterday, that's what you could do when life is just gonna take you on a journey on
Bro,
yourself.
that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, just one thing every day. Like they always say, oh, one like try to be 1% better every single day. And like I try to implement that in my life every day. And it doesn't always work every single day, but I try my best, you know, and it's the best thing you can do for sure. And even if you're 50, like you should still be doing that.
Yeah, that's the rule of life, because like you guys said, there's no self improvement is always consistent, and it's always gonna be there in your life. There's always something you can improve upon, you know?
Shouldn't be improving yourself. Like I can't imagine ever stopping. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some people are just not like not driven by like self-improvement. They think
Yeah,
like oh my life is fine and like I don't have to improve my life for anyone
Yeah.
or for themselves, and I can never understand being like that. But I guess everyone has their own way of living, but for me I'm like that's what drives me to be happy and like to live my
Yeah.
life. Like if
because
I'm
literally, I think they might just not know about it. Like I'm telling you, I didn't know that that was a thing that you could literally change who you are. Like Tony Robbins is like the biggest guy for that. Like he says, I created the person that I am today, and I see that because like you can literally create whoever you want to be.
it's so
Mm-hmm.
And
that like I remember being a kid and I remember like I had a journal like I want like 1 year of my life I was like 14 and I would write in my journal, and I remember being like there was quotes on like Tumblr and it would always be like be who you are, and I was always like I don't understand if I'm supposed to be who I am or am I supposed to be who I want to be, because there would be
Yeah.
like about myself that I didn't like and I was like well I don't want to be this person, like I don't want to be this stupid person, and then like I wanted to be a certain way but then people would be like oh well you're not naturally like that so you can't be smart or like you can't be this way, and I was like I was always like super stuck between like oh just like embrace everything about yourself and just be who you are, or do you you know create your own self, and I realized like it's something that like really took me a while to like, I guess, grasp. It sounds stupid, but like it took me a while to like fully realize that you can literally be whoever you want to be. And like it doesn't matter how you were born, or like if you're good at something, you can eventually develop and become good at it, you know. You can literally become whoever you want to be. You can improve your life to become whoever you want to
100%. And I'll tell people if they have time to go watch the Kanye West documentary on Netflix. Because
Oh
if you talk about somebody
shit.
who redesigned who they are
Holy
multiple
shit.
times, I can name somebody who did it multiple times. And for people who don't know, Kanye West wasn't original rapper. He was a producer who learned how to rap
be. It was
and
such a
who was one of the most creative geniuses, whichever area of expertise he has. So,
and
like Sasha said, you could redesign yourself multiple times in your lifetime.
people were like, no, you can't, like you're just a producer, you can't be a rapper and stuff, and like laughing, not laughing, but they were just like
Yeah.
not seriously. And I mean, obviously he proved all of them wrong, but it's like, so people can tell you as much as you want, like, oh, you're not good at this, or like you can't go to the gym because you're not fit or whatever, but like you can become fit, you can become a rap, you know what I'm saying? Like you can literally, if you work towards it, you can become that. So
Yeah.
But you
But
know how
I want
some people,
people to stop staying with this manifesting. You can't manifest, you have to work. Because it's not, oh, I'm gonna manifest my way to
no, yeah,
being in
it's not
shape.
like
You have to go to the gym.
it's not like a spell that you can put.
exactly,
Yeah.
It's
do it.
like manifestation does work. Like for me, it worked. Like I kept like obsessing about like certain figures, certain achievements, like quitting my job. Like I kept like visualizing that like I was done with it and that was it. And so it does work, but you can't just like, yeah, you can't just think about that and just not do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like you have to obsess about that image enough that subconsciously your actions are going to start changing throughout the day, and that'll lead you to that. I think that's the only
Yeah.
way for manifestation to work.
Yeah.
Writing
Manifestation and work.
on my whiteboard, like if I wake up every day and like on my whiteboard right next to me, I write down like my yearly goals, then like my monthly goal, like I split up all of my goals. And like if I see my yearly goals in the top corner every single morning when I wake up, like it just reminds me that that's what I need to do every single day.
Yeah.
For me, that's like, I guess, a form of manifestation, but it's like a reminder every single day, like those are my goals. So everything that I'm doing today, like obviously I have my daily goals and everything, but everything I should be doing today should eventually help me get to that point. And so for me, it's like writing things down. And I know Charl had sent us a message the other day that he wrote something down, and I swear
Yeah.
it helps. Like it really does
Yeah.
write things down.
Yeah.
You know how crazy it is that like some people don't have goals, like they don't have goals, or like once
Yeah.
you're done
But
with school, like you're working and there's no like you're just working every day.
somebody said this quote is like, there are two people. There are people who are living and the people who are dead inside but just existing. And when I heard that during the pandemic, that hit me to my core because I was like, whoa.
Holy shit.
Because I'm not saying that you can't have a 9 to 5. You can have a 9 to 5 and enjoy your life. But some people just go home, they'll look at Netflix, they'll go to work, repeat,
Yeah.
repeat, repeat.
It's like
If
the
you have passions outside of your 9 to 5, follow them. If you have things you want to pursue, places you want to go, look to see how you can do it. Don't just give your life away to a company, expect them to take care of you, and then
No.
20 years later, 30 years, you're just looking at that with your fingers like this. And
yeah, a lot of people don't have goals outside of their jobs. Like it's crazy. I remember on New Year's like asking, like I was just like I wanted to talk about my goals because it was like something that's so important to me. And like I said, I wrote them down in the beginning of the year on my whiteboard. And I remember like asking, I think I asked Chris, I was asking around like my friends and stuff, and like Chris was one of the only people that responded to me with like actual goals. And I was like, holy shit, like people don't have goals.
yeah,
I found it so strange because but the thing is, like, it's something that I only really started doing in the past.
Yeah, me too. It's not like I feel like we're better than people. Like I for 24 years I had no goals either.
Yeah, 20 years, I was not really like, I never really thought, I mean, obviously I was like, oh, I want to lose weight, or like I want to go to the gym. And there was like little things like that, but it was never like concrete, like this year I'm going to do this, I'm going to read books. Like Charl, my goal this year is 24 audible books. And like that, like I made some concrete goals this year, and there's like so many different aspects of my life. It's not just like, oh, I want to lose weight, you know, it's like
yeah,
gym, I want to read books, I want to improve my business, like it's, and like I want to build relationships with my family. Like it's not just in terms of business or like the gym, it's like every aspect of my life. And it was so weird to see that like no one had goals. I was like so shocked. I was like, how is, like, it was just so weird to me.
and for me, I changed because I made my goal at the beginning of the year. a week later, I changed them to say 2022 intentions. Because for me, if I say it's intention, I'm gonna do it. But if it's a goal, it's up to the universe. So I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
when
that's
you speak out loud and when you look manifest things, it's like Chris said, be very specific with the numbers you want, the lifestyle you want. Because the more specific you are, the easier it is to target and visualize the life you want to afterwards. Also,
I wrote numbers, like I wrote such specific goals this year, and like it's from reading so many books that like talk about like setting goals and everything, that like it's so helpful to make them really specific too, because then like it just makes it easier to actually, like you said, to actually envision it and actually get there. So yeah,
we've been potting.
reels, we talk about something
Uh,
I think we're gonna talk about.
we didn't even talk about Netflix or Twitter, bro. What the
Yo,
fuck?
Chris, we didn't even get
but
to
let me go on this rant real quick because
Let's go, Charles. Go off.
these
Go off.
fuckers, these
Go off.
fuckers.
he's been preparing
Because
all day.
because for me, what frustrates me is that you see so many business reports, so many case studies how blockbusters went out of business, and what made Netflix or what makes Netflix valuable is that they're not a movie content. They don't make movies. They are a artificial intelligence company. So I don't know if you ever noticed, but your recommendations are specific to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you guys an example. So my girlfriend now her Netflix, she has a bunch of like rom-coms and things like that. But the cover they'll use is only pink, only highlight colors. If you open a different Netflix, the covers are completely different.
Yeah,
So
of course.
they'll look specifically to what you like, what movies like, and they'll tailor the imagery, the colors, and that's what makes Netflix valuable, and that's what keeps people drawn in. What frustrates me is that knowing that information is how they could produce so many trash shows and TV shows.
Bro, they spend
And
billions of dollars on
there
these
you go.
trash
Billions of dollars
shows.
that consumes, and essentially the same thing that happened to Blockbuster might happen to Netflix. Because if you look at Apple, Apple has no debts. Apple got nominated for an Emmy.
Mm.
Apple has a bunch of shows coming out. Disney,
Yeah,
the
Disney.
Kardashians are
Bro,
back on
you
Hulu.
you can't even compare Apple and Disney to like Netflix, because
Yeah,
Netflix, that's all they have is the
yeah,
streaming service and
yeah.
the AI you talked about. But like Apple is Apple, they have so many different, they
Yeah,
have their Apple TV, but then there's everything else that's Apple,
But
you
even
know
if
what
you
I'm
compare
saying?
the shows of Apple,
Yeah,
the
even the
Apple
shows.
shows, the
Yeah.
movies, the quality itself,
what
and for me,
what shows do they have?
You know the
uh,
the one, the C,
my
we
man with
tried
the
to watch.
mustache,
Yeah.
the soccer
See,
coach,
oh, there's that one as well, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. That one, that's a good show. I don't like soccer. That is a funny ass
I've
show.
never watched it actually.
Ah, you should. You'll like it. You'll like it.
Damn.
But and they had the show with Jennifer Aniston also, the new show, the newsroom. So they have a bunch, or they have big money to play for big players. And for me, at least for me, last time I enjoyed the show on Netflix was Riverdale season 1. After that, I haven't liked
Bro, holy
one show.
shit. Yo, Riverdale season,
Talking about
whatever
Riverdale
it's on.
season 1, bruh,
Bro, wait,
bruh.
season 6, like whatever it's on right now is like horrible. It's garbage.
I
Like
stopped
it's
watching.
trash,
I
bro.
stopped
It's
watching.
trash.
I heard they had superpowers. I was like, I'm off.
Bro, I was watching, like I was on the plane. I was watching because like I don't know, I'm on a plane, you know what I'm saying? And like I downloaded it. And like me, I don't watch that many shows anyways. And it's just like I'm watching it just to watch it. Cause like it's trash, bro.
Season was actually really good. Like I was
Yeah, the
fucking
first season was good.
Yeah, first season was banging. I
Yeah,
was
for
like,
real.
superpowers.
know,
What the fuck? Like
Bro,
how
they
did
have superpowers now.
you get to
you
that?
see, I saw that on Twitter, and I
What
was
are
like,
they
bro,
talking
I'm
about?
off. And so for me, it's hard to see. We saw like, okay, well, oil fall down, and this is the first time we see a big company such as Netflix that might go down as non-existing because with interest rates rising and for them to keep producing content, I don't see it happening. So,
Bro, their stock fell 35%, no?
That's crazy.
guys, I bought Netflix 2018 at $272.
Oh my
It's
god.
back, all right?
January
It's
3rd, January 3rd,
no.
it was up to $607 or seven. No, it closed at $597. Yesterday, it fell below 195.
What the fuck?
So it's down like 40%.
Well, that's crypto movement. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy move for Netflix.
and
Like for a big company to move like crypto, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and when I tell people when they're looking at stocks, etc., is that look to see companies who have the number one or number two in their categories. Netflix was one of them, but the issue with Netflix is that their inability to manage their debt and their
Bro.
poor customer. Because if they would have kept their prices, I don't think anybody would have said something.
for sure.
Is that you're charging people $20, $25 for shit quality, and that's the issue.
It's literally
Didn't I ask you not too long ago? I don't know if it
Yeah,
was for Netflix, but I asked you, right?
yeah,
Should I buy Netflix? And I couldn't, I didn't want to buy it, like even if when it was at a dip, because I just don't know. I don't like investing in
yeah,
things I don't use that much. And I don't see Netflix, like Netflix could so easily get overtaken by some. It's not like Apple or something where it's like they have trillions of dollars and they can't really get taken over, you know. But like Netflix, there's Disney Plus, like you said, Apple TV. Like you can see that as something that could become a blockbuster. I'm not saying it will. Like we could be like completely wrong. They might bounce back, but like you know what's crazy about Netflix? Like you remember when we were growing up on TV, like you're watching shows and you'd have to wait like a year, 2 or 3 years to
yeah.
finish a show, like 4 years. With Netflix, you can just watch a full series in like 2 days and that's it.
And
So
that's
like
the issue. Yeah,
that binging, yeah, the binging that they created, like they created that shit. And like that could be their downfall. Cause like
yeah,
with TV before you used to pay every single month for cable and like just to finish one show. And like now with Netflix, you can finish a show like that. And
yeah. Because
I think that's
especially now, I see that now they're trying to do it weekly things too. But it's like, for example, Selling Sunset came out recently. Decent show. Not gonna lie, I like the show, like the
yeah, it's nice,
sisters, like the
Sasha.
girls. Like, shout to the O brothers. But is that you have this drama for 5 weeks
Yeah.
and it's gone
And
afterwards,
then it's done. Yeah.
and there's no
So
momentum until they film another 2 years later, and that's the issue.
so as
So
subscribers, you can literally buy 1 month, 2 months of subscription and cancel and like that's it.
yeah,
and the drama from Selling Sunset is the same drama the whole every season. It's the same drama. I just started watching the new
shout to
season.
Kershell.
Shout out to Chriselle. But I swear it's the same drama. Like it's just new forms of the exact same drama in every season. And like somehow they're the number one show in like every country apparently, which is actually crazy. But like I don't know how they did it, but
Because
But
everyone loves to
but that
watch
tells
rich
you that
people
how
problems.
trash the show is, or the lack of quality content.
yeah,
No, it's just literally like
like I just love to see these like rich houses. Like it
that's
makes me
it.
so motivated. That's why I
Yeah,
started. And obviously the drama makes it entertaining, but it's like there's no actual real like plot to
yeah.
the it's like I just want to see the houses.
It's
Because
like
like it.
no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying like rich people problems are like the funniest things to watch. So like
Yeah,
that's the reason it has success. It's because like you like to watch other people's problems. And if when they're rich, it just seems like stupid problems. Like there's problems that are so stupid
yeah.
sometimes. So
Because I'm just gonna say, if Netflix had a show like Power that was for 6 seasons, and every Sunday you have to tune in to watch it, they
yeah,
wouldn't have this problem.
that's what I'm saying.
And you look at Disney. Disney did the same thing with the Kardashians. Disney, who owns Hulu, got the rights for the Kardashians. Now it's every Sunday. You have to tune in. And I don't know how many seasons the Kardashians had, probably what, 14, 15.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
at
it's been yeah.
This season, there was the most views they had
I'm sure.
combined.
No way.
Yeah, the highest ratings season opener
I
was
swear,
this season.
the day I saw an ad for it, I swear on
Yo, shout out Kanye West. That's like Kanye West is doing for real. Like,
Yo,
bro.
shout out to Kanye, bro.
I was about to go get Disney Plus because I was like, let me tune into this. So like they're catching everyone's attention.
Yeah, yeah. So it's unfortunate, and we'll see, we'll stay tuned. But people who there's a price where it's attractive. Okay, I'll give the price if it reaches $80, buy, because it has enough
$80.
upsides. Yeah, $80, I'll buy. Anything above that, I can't justify that.
What are you
Because
doing with your stock then? Did you sell
I
or?
sold it. I sold it. I
Oh,
sold it at
okay,
350.
good.
Mm-mm,
Yeah, yeah.
mm-mm. And once I saw that, because it's for me, it's more expensive than Disney. It's more expensive than Apple. So
Yeah,
why
that's
would I pay a premium for
ample
a
suit, ample suit.
trouble company where I can
No,
buy no stress? And Disney has their own problems with the we'll say these gay rights and etc.
yeah.
Well, and there's no perfect stock, but let me pay $164 for Apple instead of paying 195 for them.
How is Apple trading less than Netflix? That's crazy. Like that
Because it's
tells you
not sexy.
everything you need to know
It's
about
not sexy.
Netflix.
There you go.
Nah, but bro, like Apple versus Netflix is not even a
Yeah, it's
conversation.
not exactly. Exactly.
So like just buy Apple, buy a bunch of Apple stock and you're good.
Yeah, you'll be a rich motherfucker.
Should we move on to the final topic? Did you have
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
else to
yeah.
say about about Netflix?
We got kind of off topic, but Chris, do you want to finish telling us how you quit your job?
Bro, I can't give too much details because there's certain things like that I don't want to talk about yet. But on Monday, no, was it on Sunday? Yeah, because on Monday I had my shift and I didn't want to work it. So I just texted my manager. I called him. Super dry conversation. When 9 to 5s, they make you feel like, oh, it's a family, blah, 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 all that shit. And then it was the driest conversation I've ever had with anyone in my life. And it was just like, yeah, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And today I just dropped off my equipment. And yeah, bro, like I posted something about it today. Like if you ever catch me at a 9 to 5 again, it's because something went horribly wrong. Because for me, I it's not even about the money. Like even if you pay me like 200K per year, I can't work for someone else. Like it doesn't work. It's never worked for me. It's never worked for me. So
People
yeah.
always think that like you're crazy to say something like that, but like especially you, Chris, like how you were in the workplace, like obviously like it just didn't work for you. And even
Yeah.
like I said, I knew for a long time that I was like, this is not for me. And it's like, I don't know, I think some people will just not.
Bro, if there's some people who love their 9 to 5s,
Yeah,
that's
a hundred
all
percent.
good, bro. Like I'm not talking to those people ever, but like me, I hated it. Like hate. That's not
You
even a
know,
good word to like, or a good feeling to have towards anything. And like hated it. And when I was working there, I was wishing for my like the time to go away. And that's crazy, bro. Like
but I think most people feel like you. It's just that we have this guilt in society, and there's nothing wrong with having 9 to 5 and wanting to keep your 9 to 5. I'll just say have a plan in place for
yeah,
when the 9 to 5 quits you,
that's fair.
because every time there is a catastrophe around the world, it's a
Anything.
reset. It's a reset. We saw 2008. We saw with the dot com. We saw with the industrial revolution. We're gonna see with COVID, and
We already saw a lot of it.
yeah. And what was it yesterday? Robinhood let go 9% of the employees,
Yeah,
and these
yeah.
are engineers making
That's
$100,000.
fucking crazy.
So if you don't take the grocery store, it's gonna let go their employees. If you don't take the call centers, are gonna let go on the employees. You have nothing coming. So if you are able to prepare yourself and have something in place in case that does happen, more power to you.
Bro, if you don't love your 9 to 5, here's the best mindset to have. You have to use your 9 to 5 like they're using you. So
Yep.
you have to give like as little energy as possible as you can at your 9 to 5. Get your money because whether you put in effort or not, most jobs are the same. Like you get paid the same. So don't put as much effort. My mom's gonna kill me if she hears me say this, but like don't put as much effort in your job and take the money that they're paying you. If you have to cut on your expenses to have a bit more money, then you need to cut on your expenses. And
Major
then
key.
once you have like a bit of money, you need to use that money and make a plan for yourself outside of your work. You can't rely, no matter how much they're paying you, like you can't rely on just one source of income. One source of income is too close to zero sources of income. So
Hmm.
that's it.
And I'll
That's it.
tell this to people: you cannot have a luxury lifestyle on $50,000. Cut your expenses, because I see too many people going out every Saturday, eating at markets, going I don't know where to the club, and you're making $40,000. Stop it. Like Chris said, cut your expenses, live below your means. This gap is called investing money. This gap is called fuck you money, and this gap is called expenses for going out, and you won't have any problems. But too many times that people are used to this lifestyle, they get pay cut, and then all of a sudden the world's falling over. If you never had this lifestyle, you wouldn't have this problem.
It's so true.
I think it's just because people care too much about what other people think of them. Like, imagine you're driving like a certain car and then you have to sell it to drive a shittier car. Like not a
Mhm.
lot of people are ready to do that. But like that's what it takes. Like if you're in that position where you shouldn't be having that expensive car in the first place, then you need that step back if you want to like make your
Yeah.
life easier on yourself.
Ego is like how can you go down? How can you downgrade your car?
That's the thing. Me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about it. It's like, how can I go like down to certain things? But like, bro, if you have to, especially like financially, then you have to. Like, there's no other way
A hundred
around it.
percent. You see, and I'm struggling with that too. I'm not saying it's easy because it's
It's not
like,
easy.
especially if you're somebody who plans, somebody who sacrifice, like, you want to reward yourself, we'll say. And sometimes it's that rewarding yourself doesn't mean financially smart sometimes, and that's that balance you have to find to see where is the middle ground on that.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the final topic?
Yeah, just to touch base on this Elon Musk situation, the richest man in the world buying the, I'll say, the most influential app probably after TikTok.
My favorite platform.
Yeah, and some people don't understand maybe why he did it, but I'll just say that history repeats itself. If you look at the Romans, if you look at the Egyptians, the stories we tell in history books is because they control the narrative.
Mhm.
So true.
And a couple years ago, Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post.
Mm.
And it's hard to hear a bad article come out Jeff Bezos if it's not coming about his wife. So controlling your narrative matters, regardless if you're a small business owner, if you're an employee, $1 million in assets, etc. Controlling how people look at you is always going to give you a step up. So if Elon can control one of the most influential apps, get that customer data, and leverage that for other things, why wouldn't he? So for me, I think it's a very strategic uh, and ambitious goal. And what people don't know is that the second largest customer of Tesla's is actually China, and majority of the
Yeah.
pieces that they use in Tesla comes from China, and China gets those parts from Africa because they own the labs to get nickels as well for the EV batteries. And what people don't know is that the Chinese government banned Twitter because they didn't have any influence on it, or they didn't have any intellectual property of the app. So since Tesla is going to be a private company, we won't know exactly what's happening or how it'll be used, but it's something to keep an eye on to see how that dynamic between China and Elon Musk is going to have an impact on the US. And if you live in Canada, I would pay close attention because we are right in the middle between those two. And especially because we have a stronger allegiance also with the US. If China goes and becomes the number one economy, which they will, you need to evaluate what you need to do. It's like when I have kids, best believe they're gonna learn how to speak Chinese. Because there's going to be a point where, and I don't think people know this, but if you go to Jamaica, majority of the resorts are owned by Chinese. They
Lord.
they
Oh, I didn't
teach
know that.
Mandarin to Chinese, or excuse me, to Jamaican kids in school as well.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, same thing in Africa. So if Russia, China, and if China takes over Taiwan, and they own major parts of Caribbeans, all go against the U.S., who's the biggest ally for the U.S. afterwards? It's us,
Yeah.
and our tax dollars are gonna go to war,
Oh,
and we know the rest.
Talk
well,
to me about taxes, bro.
Ah, you
oh,
already know. You know what day was the 29th, 28th? I didn't file my taxes yet. I'm
You
still waiting.
didn't? I did today, bro. I don't want
Mm-mm.
to talk about that shit.
I
Bro.
Hey, if an accountant, if a tax accountant is listening to this podcast, reach out, because we need some help. And
And you keep paper receipts in the bag, right?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Because for somebody who plans on making more money in my lifetime, the amount of money I owe to the government is ridiculous. And
oh,
me thinking about how much I owe in the future is gonna give me a bigger headache.
Yo,
So
it's yeah.
oh,
I'm trying to leave. That's what I'm trying to do. Like,
bro, I'm
for
telling
real,
you,
for real.
I'm going.
gotta get out of
Okay,
this.
well, I won't say exactly why, but I'm going to Caribbeans this December. Best believe I'm going to the banks and figure out what I need to do to have an offshore account.
Speak.
It's
Business
going to be a business trip where I'm taking appointments because it's to the point where it's not as attractive as it was to live 12 months out of the year in Canada. Like I'm thinking about my grandparents, thinking about my parents. It's like
Even my mom, yeah.
Yeah, just living here, not going on vacation. I remember when we were younger, I didn't leave the country for the first, what, 10 years of my life.
Me too, easily.
You know, the first 10 years
Yeah.
of my life, I didn't leave the country. And now that I think about this, like, I need to leave at least every 6 months. I don't care if it's a round trip and you go to Vermont back and forth. You just to clear your head, change the atmosphere, and
Anywhere. Even
yeah, have it.
that I got my first passport, and it was the first time I left the country, and I was like, what the fuck is it? Like, I was like, how did it get to be so long until I actually left the country? It's crazy. Like 18 years not leaving the country, not even once, you know?
Oof.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to do 3 to 4 per year.
I'm like quarterly. I'm trying to take quarterly vacations.
Yo, you already know.
Okay, well, I think it's a wrap, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just the rant of the week. I posted this story today,
I saw.
and it's like, are you all in? Meaning, are you going to be at the gym doing your work, regardless of what is your career trajectory, to be able to say, I put everything out there. And a bunch of people who I know don't apply what they're preaching. What? Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, all day. And for me, I think that we live in a society where it's easy to portray a certain image. It's easy to
Oh, it's
say
so
that
easy.
you're about a certain lifestyle. You're going to do with certain things. And I tell people, before you DM me, ask yourself, are you serious or are you curious? I can't deal with people if you're curious. If you want to talk and you just want to talk to have my information, not here. Talk to me if you're serious. Because a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, bro, I'm with it, I'm with it," and then you ask them for follow up, it's like ghosted. So
Yeah.
for me, if you fake hustling, if you talk, and there's some people who've been talking the same shit. Oh yeah, bro, I'm gonna start investing. 6 months later, you don't hear them. Oh yeah, bro, I'm gonna hit you up later, and it's like you're just wasting my time. But most importantly, you're wasting your time, man. You need to take advantage of every second you have on this earth, because every second you're older, you're not getting that time back. So this fake hustle, this fake whatever, establish where you are right now. Look to see where you improve. But if you say you're going to do something, keep your word and do so.
Yes, facts for real. Well, the people that are delaying investing is like, what?
I
What?
Just
Like learning how to invest, bro. So if I tell you that you can put your money in a savings account and get like 0.5% interest for a whole year, that means like you're getting literally nothing. Yeah. Now, if I tell you there's a safe way, very, very safe to get like 7 to 10% return yearly, very low, like there's barely no risk, like very little risk, by just learning how to invest in ETFs, like an S&P
yeah
500 ETF. That's it. Like and it's so simple with any app you can do it. Like you can just park your money in there instead of the fucking savings account,
yeah.
and people
Index
just
funds are
don't
the
know
wave.
about that.
Yeah, if you want to be a lazy investor and if you listen to this and you don't know where to put your money,
Bro,
Apple,
like might as
Microsoft,
well. That's it.
call it a day. Put your money in the index funds. I like the S&P. I like the Nasdaq, and there's a bunch of different ones depending on which brokerage you're with. They all do relatively the same amount of compounding over time.
Apple is probably safer than your bank. Like putting your stock
Yep,
in Apple
100%.
is probably safer than putting your money in a savings account, like with your bank.
I think Apple's the one that I've invested the most in. Like Apple, for me, Apple, Tesla, and
Bro,
like
it's so like
Can't go wrong.
our kids are gonna use Apple stuff.
sure.
That's
You
all you
know,
need to know. Like
I'll
that's
tell
it.
people this. This is the life hack I learned, and especially being in the banking industry, you're able to learn certain things. Go look at the top companies or the top banks or the top hedge funds. Look to see where the top 10 assets are invested in, and you'll see the same thing. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Microsoft, Amazon,
That's it.
Apple,
Apple.
you'll have some type blue chip, Google. Follow what they do. I follow what the rich people do. And so
For
far,
real,
I
that's
can't
it.
complain.
Amen.
Don't overcomplicate things. Don't say, oh, yo, bro, I found this $2 stock and it's gonna go. Don't need us. If you want to put $100 for some stupid things, okay, do it in a different account so it doesn't impact your long-term assets. But don't follow. I'll get a lot of flack for this because I do the same thing. But don't only follow investing advice from people on the internet, Twitter, Instagram. Look to see what they do well. Look to see where they find information, and then make your own research on it. Don't just say, "Oh, this guy recommended it. I'm a buy without making research.
Yeah.
Do your research before you buy
That's
something.
Sasha. Sasha's on that type of
I
that type of investing.
was
Like,
literally about to say I was so guilty of that. Like when I first ever started investing like 2 years ago, which was actually really late for me, but it was about 2 years ago. And I was like, I would just literally follow what people said on Twitter. And I was like hoping for the best, you know? But honestly, like it actually turned out pretty well. But you know, like there were some times where like I would Chris would see what I was doing and he's like, don't buy that. Like
yeah,
when
she would tell me I have this stock, and I was like, why did you buy this? Like, for what? And she would have no reason. She would just be like, yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. I'll tell people, if you can explain to someone why you're buying this in the proper terms as a 7-year-old, don't buy it.
that's what
Don't buy it. That's my golden rule.
But yeah, I think we've gone on for like too long, bro. Like
No, it was a good episode. We did
Yeah.
a good time.
yeah, it was a great first episode. So do we wrap up?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, well, I think that's pretty much it, guys. It's gone on for super long. This is our first episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully you found any piece of like value. And yeah, I guess we'll see them next week.
Next week.
next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.